Hello, Cowboys Nation. Coming to you live from Tennessee, from the east to the west. We are talking Cowboys everything. And you just entered
the Cowboys Zone.
Welcome back to a new season of the Cowboys Zone. I'm Marcus Jones, the Bluff City Cowboy, coming to you live from Memphis, Tennessee.
And this is Lent.
All right, Lambo, I think you got yourself on mute right now.
Really?
You did for a second, yeah.
That's weird. I hadn't touched it.
All right, guys, thank you for joining us. We're glad to be back for another season of the Cowboys Zone. I know we definitely missed everybody out there, so thank you guys for joining us.
Sam, come on, man. Don't be messing with me.
Do you know who Sam is?
Yeah, that's my best friend.
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
From back home. He's messing around.
I was about to say, are we already getting trolls in the first 2 minutes of the show? Well, Sam Brown, thank you for joining us. Mendoza, definitely appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. Also, I see the views are starting to climb pretty quickly, so we'd like to be an interactive show. If you're watching right now, be sure to get in the comments. Let us know that you're there. Post your questions, post your comments. And if you haven't done so already, make sure that you like this broadcast. Make sure that you share it. Share it to your personal page. Share it to your favorite Dallas Cowboys fan page. Got a lot to talk about today. Lambo, I know you're ready for the season to start just like I am. So we definitely got a lot of topics to cover. Gonna keep our usual format, get you guys in and out as quickly as possible. So we definitely want to make sure that you guys stay engaged with us and let us know what your thoughts are about this week 1 game versus the Giants.
Man, it feels nice to be back. I'm not gonna lie, it feels almost like the first show all over again.
It really does.
The bubble guts and stuff. Like, woo, you gotta get back into it.
Yeah, people missed all the behind the scenes stuff that happened. Internet went out.
Yeah.
Power went out. Everything tried to stop us from doing this first episode, but we are here and we're ready to get into it.
Yes, sir.
Once again, if you're watching right now, make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube, and also make sure to engage with us. We got a lot of great topics to talk about. All right, Lambo, let's get into it. First, we're going to start with some of the major storylines going into this week's game. This is always one of my favorite parts. Haven't done this in a while, so let's get into it.
Storylines.
All right, so got a couple of storylines to cover. And guys, if there's something you want us to talk about, be sure to get in the comments and let us know. But first of all, we're going to start at the top, and that is with the coaches. So we got Brian Daboll in his second year as the Giants head coach. As you guys know, typically the first year of a coach coming to a new team, you have a lot of transitions from the prior regime's coaching philosophy. So Daboll didn't really get to implement what he wanted. This is year 2, so now Daboll goes to another full offseason. He gets to pick and choose his own receivers. He's got guys like Wan'Dale Robinson, and Isaiah Hodgins, I believe his name is. And then the big addition of Darren Waller as the tight end.
Jalen Hyatt,
they drafted him. So you kind of get to see those Buffalo Bill elements with your speedster that can take the top off, the athletic tight end, the little small slot guy, and then the complementary number 2s.
And they know as well as we do that anything's gonna feel better than Jason Garrett.
Exactly. So I know we beat them both times last year, but we're gonna see a lot of wrinkles this year from the offense that we didn't see last year, just because of schematics and talent. So definitely got to be on the lookout for that. But we really got to go to the Cowboys side of the ball,
Dun, dun,
and
dun.
Mike McCarthy's first game as a play caller. So everybody's aware.
Mhm.
Got rid of Kellen Moore. McCarthy says, I'm taking the reins on this thing. I'm going to make us the Texas Coast
Yes, that's what I was
offense.
gonna say.
Yeah,
Texas
Texas
Coast.
Coast offense. So I know we all kind of have an idea of what that means, but Lambo, what does that Texas Coast offense mean for you? Anything that you want to see that's different than what Kellen Moore did before?
I just think, honestly, obviously they're gonna have some West Coast, and I think they're gonna let Dak have a little bit more say so in what's going on, what he thinks is gonna work best in the offense. I think they're just gonna let him, as the veteran he is now. You're paying him the big money. I think they're gonna put some more, give him more control than he's had in the past. Personally, that's what I think. I think that Mike McCarthy is gonna hear Dak out, and he's gonna say, "You're the guy. Let's go out here. What we've done before is not working. We're going to work with you to mix a little bit of what we want to do with what you think is going to work in this offense. And together, we're going to make this the Texas Coast."
Exactly. What I'm praying for most is everything I saw in week 3 of the preseason. Like the entire time I was watching that game, I look at the routes that what's the receiver we drafted last year's name?
Jalen Tolbert.
Jalen Tolbert. I'm looking at the routes Tolbert's run. I'm like,
right,
man, I can't wait to see Brandon Cooks running those routes.
right.
Then I'm looking at the big fullback, halfback catching the ball out of the backfield, scoring touchdowns.
Lukey.
And I'm like,
Hello, Lukey.
man, I can't wait to see Tony Pollard catching those balls.
Right,
So, and then the tight ends, of course, Schoonmaker made a couple plays as well,
right.
which we expected.
But Ferguson, he had 3 targets, 3 catches, 38 yards.
Exactly.
I mean, it's looking good.
Right. So that week 3 preseason game really gave us some good indications of what I hope we see in the regular season, but with much more talented players. So I see we got Charlie in the comments saying I haven't done this in a while.
Oh, that's Charlie. Okay.
Charlie,
I should have known. Established the pass. That gave it away.
Whenever I'm live, Charlie, I forget everybody's name. That's not a first time thing. That's just how I am when I'm in front of the lights. But yeah, looking forward to that Texas Coast offense and what Mike McCarthy has in store for all these weapons that he's brought in. And I talked a little bit about Brian Daboll and his weapons. Got to look at the weapons Mike McCarthy brought in. I mean, the 2nd round pick, Schoonmaker. They draft the shifty running back in Deuce Vaughn. Kind of going in a different direction of the previous regime where they want the big bruising running back. Got the athletic guys who can catch the ball out of the backfield and who can wiggle in the hole instead of trying to push the pocket. So a lot of stuff to look forward to in this Texas Coast offense that we're playing on. So we talked a little bit about the running back. Let's go into our second storyline. And speaking of running back, we got to replace Zeke. So Zeke has been the guy in Dallas for several years. In a move that was shocking to a lot of fans, the Cowboys let him go. And looking at the backfield, we got a lot of inexperience back there. I mean, Tony Pollard, he had a emergence last year, but years prior wasn't as involved in the offense as we expected. And then we got 2 young guys who have either played 1 game or no games. Lambo, what are you looking forward to with this running back group?
Man, instead of lightning and thunder, I guess you could say, it's kind of like lightning.
Right.
And I'm excited to see how it's gonna work. And yeah, it was cutting out for just a second. You're good now.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm just excited because with young guys, okay, what do these 3 guys got in common right now?
Explosiveness.
They do. And another thing they got in common is none of them have got a payday. I mean, Tyler's he's on the tag, but you know how running backs perform when they're still in them stages trying to get a second payday. And obviously, young guys are still trying to prove themselves. Like Deuce and Rico's trying to make, he wants to stay in the NFL for another 3-4 years if possible. But they're hungry, is what I'm getting at. They're hungry. They want to establish a place on this roster. They want to establish a place in the NFL. They're hungry, and I love running backs like that. I love young running backs. They got something to prove still, because I feel like they always get that 150%,
right?
That little bit more than your veteran that's on his second payday, and he's been around the block a little bit. I just love those hungry young running backs. I feel like they're gonna give us some juice.
So me personally, Lambo, people talk about, well, we don't have the big bruising running back, and they're concerned about if it's the fourth quarter we got to lead, do we have guys who can lead a 4-minute offense? Or if it's 3rd and 2, can he get the tough yardage? Personally, that doesn't concern me. Does that concern you at all with the running backs that we currently have?
It doesn't concern me at all. I honestly think Lukey could come in there for some short yardage as well if needed. But yeah, I don't have any concerns with that at all. I also feel like that Tony Pollard's plenty capable of handling that role when needed to close games out. I feel like there's almost like everyone treats him as if he's like 197 pounds.
Exactly.
The guy's like 215. I mean,
right.
There's workhorse running backs out there with the same, same weight as this guy. So
yep.
I think he's capable when we need to close out the game.
Yeah, I was looking at some statistic a couple weeks ago that says the average NFL running back size right now is 5'11" to 217. Tony Pollard's right at that range, so it's not like we just have an undersized bell cow back. I mean, people talk about let's pick up Dalvin Cook. Tony Pollard's actually bigger than Dalvin Cook.
Oh yeah, Dalvin Cook's got toothpick legs.
Exactly. So it's all about this weird perception that Tony Pollard can't get the job done. And Charlie says if it's 3rd and 1 or less, run Dak. So you want to go to that Philadelphia Eagles offense, which I have no problem with. The question is, will Dak do it? Because his rushing attempts have gone down dramatically since that first leg injury. So I see we got some of the old regulars in here. So William Coulter Jr., thank you for joining us. Appreciate you coming back. Got my guy Stephen White in here. Stephen, thank you for joining us as well. And then Charlie in rare form with the F-bombs. They want to play 1980s football. Having a bruiser back. Yeah, I'm with you 100%. I mean, whether you have a running back that can push the pile or a running back who can make a shifty move and wiggle in, a yard is a yard. That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
And I think a guy like Deuce Vaughn in particular has shown, like, he knows how to squeeze in there and get that yard or two. He had 2 touchdowns in the preseason, so it's not like the guy was just ineffective.
And I'm not really worried about the run game. I feel like a short pass game is just as good as I feel like we can create those same yardage, to 4 yards, 5 yards on the short pass game. I think there's gonna be a lot of that.
Yeah, I was actually talking to my guy Jeff about that a couple weeks ago, because he was saying his biggest concern is, well, we don't have a guy who can really hold up in pass coverage on 3rd and whatever. And I was explaining to him, unless a team is just flat out blitzing, it's more scary to have Tony Pollard running a flat route than it is keeping him in the backfield. Because if a linebacker tries to blitz and Tony runs out, that's a touchdown. Now, Dak may take a couple shots doing that, but it only takes one time for it to explode and teams will start pulling up.
Exactly.
So that's definitely something we got to look forward to. And I see we got Amanda in the building with DC4L. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, what's up?
All right, we got a couple more storylines to talk about, and then we'll move on with the show. So the next storyline we want to touch base on is all the injuries that have been popping up. So over the past couple of weeks, we've got Jordan Lewis, who hasn't practiced at all. still looks like he's a little bit up in the air. And then in the past 7 to 10 days, the floodgates have opened up. First, it was Donovan Wilson with, I believe, what was it, an ankle?
Yeah.
And then you got Sam Williams with the turf toe. And then the big news that came out 2 days ago, Tyler Smith, who's projected to be our starting left guard, is dealing with a hamstring injury. Now, there hasn't been much talk about whether or not he'll play. Lambo and I kind of talked about this off air. We both feel like don't get your hopes up in terms of Tyler Smith playing.
Right.
And if he does,
might not be the whole game.
Exactly. You probably won't see him against the Giants.
One little tweak. I just don't feel right. They're going to be like, all right. And then it's the other conversation we had. Who's that guy that comes in?
Exactly.
Bass or Richards.
So, Lambo, I had that conversation also. If Tyler Smith doesn't play, who do you guys feel more comfortable with coming in as that left guard? Because right now we have 2 rookies in Richards and Bass. Lambo, which one do you think you feel more comfortable with? Just based off what you've seen.
Oh man, that's tough. I didn't get to rewatch the games. I caught a decent amount of Bass. So I'll probably go with Bass, but I feel like I'd be cool with either. Richard looks strong, man. So so I like that in a guard position. I like real strong guards. I really, honestly, it's a good problem to have. I feel comfortable with either of them coming in from what we've seen from them so far, at least. I think I'd be okay with either one coming in.
Yeah. I'm really surprised that Bass went undrafted. I talked about this pretty much with people all off season. I had Bass as a early day 3 graded guy.
Yeah, there was rumblings about him before the draft as being a potential target for them in the draft. So
yeah, I had him graded higher than Richards. I like Richards coming out of North Carolina, but I had Bass as a higher rated guy. So to get him undrafted and to see him actually produce makes me really feel good about the pick. And I don't know if Richards just looked so good that they decided to try him at left tackle, or did Bass just look so good they were like, you know what? Let's not even waste time keeping Richards at left guard. Let's just put him at tackle and see what we have. Because Richards looked good at tackle, but I thought he was going to be a guard. So I think we're in good hands either way. Even though they're going to be playing against some of the best defensive linemen in the league with the first rounders that the Giants have, along with Leonard Williams. So it's going to be a tough task for either one of those guys if they're forced to play in their week 1 game. William Coulter asked the question, since we're talking offensive line, do we think Steele was overpaid? Personally, William Coulter, I don't think he was overpaid.
No.
I mean, if you go back, and I know Dom, if you follow Dom on X, if you don't, make sure you do follow him, because him
X gonna give it to you.
we got to stop putting it in as a soundbite.
Yeah, you're right. X gonna give it.
But yeah, if you go back and follow Dominic White, he put up a really good I don't even know if we call them tweets or not now, but he posted on X with
puts a nice exhibits
X.
I don't know. Yeah.
Of Steele's contract. And if you look at it, it's fairly team friendly for the first couple of years. And on top of that, when you look at the average right tackles contracts, I mean, they're all 18 to 20. And his grades and his production are right there with some of the best right tackles in the NFL.
It really is good to jump to, get it done early instead of wait until the last minute, let another 2, 3, 4 tackles get a payday. I mean, 5 years, $86 million, $50 million guaranteed. It's really fair for a very, very solid right tackle.
Yeah, and a right tackle who's only, I believe, 23 or 24 years old.
Right. Yeah.
So you have a chance of getting a third contract out of him. Yeah, and Charlie makes the great point. Makes him the 8th highest paid right tackle. I mean, that's probably right along the lines of where I would rank him at in terms of right tackles.
Exactly. And then next year, after a few more sign, he's going to be bumped down.
Yep, exactly.
11, 12, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Riker said Steele was paid perfectly, 7th in the league average per year, only 1 sack allowed in the last 818 snaps. Definitely a good contract. Charlie kind of touching base on a little bit what I said Dunn put out there. It's a 2-year deal, option in the 3rd year. Also, I believe it's an extension, so it doesn't really kick in until next year.
Yeah.
So you got him for the cheap option this year, and then 2 years of cheap deals, then that 3rd option. So yeah, I think that's all the storylines we have. I didn't put this one up here, but we talk about the injuries we're dealing with. The Giants aren't dealing with the same thing we are. Surprisingly, they normally have a bunch of wide receiver injuries. As of right now, it looks like they have a full cast of receivers. Wan'Dale Robinson's back. Sterling Shepard should be able to play. I don't know if he will. And then Darius Slayton also will be playing.
Right.
So
and then we get to see our Tennessee guy, Jalen Hyatt, who I'm still mad went to New York. Still mad about that as a Boss fan, obviously.
So Lambo, I know we just brought that up. Do you think he's gonna be a major contributor this game?
I don't think he'll be a major contributor, but I could definitely see him sneak in there for a good solid, 3 targets. Mm-hmm. He might get 1 for 17, something like that. You got to be careful though. He's got some fast deep speed, man. You can't let him get behind you. You cannot let him get behind you.
Yep. All right. So let's go to our next segment, where we'll talk about some of the key matchups that we've pointed out that we're looking forward to seeing in this game. And once again, if you haven't done so already, make sure you like, make sure you share, and continue to leave your great questions and comments so that we can discuss them during the show.
Key matchups.
All right, first game of the year, major rivalry. Got a lot of great matchups that we're going to look at this week. I just pointed out a couple that I'm really into. And if you guys have some in the comments you want us to discuss, Lambo, if you have some, be sure to let us know also. So we'll go to the first one. And this one is always a good one because DeMarcus Lawrence always plays big against the Giants.
The Giant Killer.
The Giant Killer. And once again, he's going against now second-year player Evan Neal on the right side. D-Law's always, I think he's probably had about a strip sack 3 or 4 games in a row against the Giants. I wish I can go back and look up that stat. But it seems like he always gets a strip sack against them, and he always has a big game.
Golly.
So, looking forward to seeing this one.
This D-line is going to be, man, God, I can't wait. Can't wait. I know we're talking about this matchup, man. The moment you start talking about how he plays against the Giants, and I start thinking about Micah and Mozzie and all them guys, man, I'm like,
also in the middle, yeah.
I can't wait to see how the O-lines are going to hold up against that.
Yeah. Now, I don't have this as one of my key matchups, but I do believe the Giants are starting a rookie center and guard on the inside. So, Osa Odigizua.
Yes.
People talk about Mozzie maybe struggling. It
see.
Looks like he's going to get a rookie in front of him. So it's going to be some rookie on rookie action to see if he can hold up. All right, let's go to our next matchup, and this is another great one I think is gonna really dictate the game, and that's CeeDee Lamb versus Adoree Jackson. So for you guys that don't follow the Giants used the first round pick on the cornerback out of Mississippi State. Seems like they really love him, and Mendoza's just saying our defensive front seven versus their offensive line in general. Yeah. We probably spent an hour talking about just that matchup.
That will be key. I mean, that's going to decide the whole game. For the most part, anyway.
Yeah. So, talking about the Giants, they drafted the guy in the first round. They also drafted a guy, I believe, in the 5th round that they really like. Another athletic 6'2" corner. So it sounds like they're going to use those two tall guys on the outside, and that allows them to put their best corner, Adoree Jackson, in the slot on CeeDee Lamb. And Adoree Jackson in the past has always kind of chirped a little bit about how CeeDee Lamb can hold up on the outside, and he wishes he can go inside and cover him. He gets his chance this week.
CeeDee's him. He's gonna find out.
Exactly. So I'm definitely looking forward to this one. Even if this isn't a great matchup in CeeDee's favor, he is their best corner. The other two guys are rookies. And thank you, Mendoza, always coming with the late round pick names. Trey Hawkins.
So you telling me Brandon Cooks gets to see a rookie?
Brandon Cooks gets to
the
see
vet?
Trey Hawkins or Banks. And don't forget, we got Michael Gallup, who's coming a year removed from a major injury.
Oh, yeah, and I think he's going to have a big bounce back.
Exactly. So now you got two veteran deep threat receivers on the outside against rookies. So if this is a great matchup, you're going to have some great matchups on the outside because of Adoree Jackson following CeeDee Lamb on the inside. So definitely a lot to watch in that wide receiver DB matchup. So this one is probably going to be the biggest dictator on the Giants offense, and that is Jaron Kearse versus Darren Waller.
I agree.
Yeah, reports from the Giants are that Daniel Jones is really locked in to Waller. We know what Waller can do from his time with the Raiders pre-injury. We've also seen what Jaron Kearse can do against Darren Waller based off that last game we played him. We basically shut him down for the first half until he got hurt. So, Lambo, do you think we're kind of running a 3 safety set now? That's pretty much been
basically got a few linebackers in there.
Yeah,
safety line that hybrid.
So, do you think they give the job 100% to Kearse, or do we see Marquise Bell or whoever in Donovan Wilson's place, probably Mukwamu?
I don't know.
You think they put it all in Kearse's hands?
I feel like they need to, though, because like we were talking about before on air, Kearse last time he matched up with him up until the injury thing happened. He's just amazing on tight ends, man. Kearse is he just gives them a tough time, man. He's really good at stopping up opposing teams' tight ends. I don't see any if he can shut him out. And my shutout, I don't mean 0 catches, but I mean make him not a big thing in the game. Leave him on him. That's Kearse. Let him do his thing. I leave him on him.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so I got one more matchup, and this is just one I'm looking forward to, and that is Tyron Smith versus Kayvon Thibodeau. Tyron Smith didn't get to play last year's games against them, and then when he did play, not against the Giants, he was at the right tackle spot. So this offseason, he got to work back at left tackle, and his first matchup is against the young, athletic defensive end outside linebacker. So you have age and experience versus youth. So I think this one's really going to be a good matchup, and then you're also going to see a little bit of Ojulari over there as well. So I think they're going to test the old man out. You think he's going to hold up now, Bo?
I think he will, and here's why. We're getting week 1 Tyron. Week 1 Tyron. That's your with his age, you're still getting your elite Tyron week 1. I know he starts to break down throughout the season as the season goes on, but this is week 1 Tyron we're talking about. So I expect him to go out there well rested and just have the game that we expect him to have as the player he is. So I'm expecting we're getting our good Tyron on the field.
Yeah, I'm hoping so also. I hate that we probably won't have Tyler Smith beside him, but I think Tyron Smith is more than capable of holding his own on the edges against these young rookie outside linebackers that the Giants are going to match up with. And Mendoza brings up another sneaky matchup with our tight ends versus their strong safeties.
Yes.
Our tight ends have historically had great games against the Giants, So thank you, Mendoza, for that segue, because it takes us
Blake Jarwin.
into this week's question of the week, which correlates to the tight end position.
Question of the week.
So the question of the week, Cowboys fans, is which tight end will have the most receiving yards against the New York Giants? And new addition, this question is sponsored by the DC4L group. Thank you, Amanda Foster, for allowing us to use your logo and posting your group and all the great things that you do for the Cowboys community. If you guys haven't done so already, make sure you go on Facebook and find the DC4L fan group. They give away a lot of great prizes. They give away a lot of opportunities for Cowboys fans in terms of watching out-of-market games and things of that nature.
Yeah, fantasy
Just
football.
overall, yep, fantasy football.
Yeah.
I think I'm in 5 fantasy football groups from that page. And on top of that, the engagement is always informative without any trolls, because the admin is really on top of it. So if you guys haven't done so already, check out that DC4L group. So let us know in the comments what you think.
Fergie.
I've posted this around quite a bit, Lambo, and it's been overwhelmingly favoring Jake Ferguson.
You already know I'm going Ferguson. Like, before the draft, I swore, like, I was wrong, but I swore up and down I was so confident in who he was and what he was going to be that there was no way we went tight end early. So when we did take a tight end, I was pissed. And I still stand on what I say. I still think Jake Ferguson is going to be an amazing tight end in this league. I really do. I drafted him in every single fantasy football league late. I believe in him. I think he's going to be a great tight end. I really, really do.
Now, Mendoza, I'm shocked that you didn't go Hendershot right here. Because I know
TD Jarwin, giving them the 3 TD hat trick.
And I agree with you, Dom. I don't think he touches the field. I don't think Luke touches the field just yet in a meaningful way, just because the 2 tight ends in front of him are so talented and they've already gotten a clear grasp of the offense. And they've made plays to continue to stay on the field also. I don't think they're going to just give it away to the young rookie just yet.
The young rookie, huh?
Well,
I'm messing around with his age. I think Jake is... How old is Jake Ferguson, out of curiosity? I think he might be younger. He's 24 years old, Jake Ferguson is. And I think Schoonmaker turns 25 this year.
Really? I didn't know it was that old.
Let me take a look.
I know they're pretty close in age.
Yeah, he's 20. Yeah, they're both 24.
Okay.
So that's crazy.
Yeah. So it looks like, based off the comments, it's favoring Jake Ferguson with everybody. And kind of going back to Dom's comment, I agree. If Ferguson gets it, it's because of volume. If it's Hendershot, it'll be because of a big play.
Yeah,
and just him using his speed on the edges.
I could see that.
All right, guys, we're pretty much at the halfway mark. So thank you guys for joining us. Once again, if you haven't done so already, make sure you like the broadcast. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channels. Bluff City Cowboys on YouTube, and Lambo is Cowboys, y'all. And also, make sure you share it. Even if someone comes in halfway, there may be a group where somebody wants to see our comment, and they can at least go back and watch us at a later time. Okay, Lambo, now we're about to get to one of my favorite segments of the show, and that's where we get a little bit more fan participation from you guys. And this is where we do our over-under, where I'll give you guys a statistic, and you guys let me know if you think that we will go over or under on that statistic for the week.
Let's go.
Over under.
All right, so we'll go to our first over-under question of the week. This one relates to our wide receiver position. We kind of talked about before, the Giants are going to be starting 2 rookies on the outside and putting their 5'9" best corner in the slot against CeeDee Lamb. So the first over-under question of the day, over under 50 yards for all three of our receivers.
So they all have to have over 50.
They all have to have over or under 50.
That makes it tough.
And if you don't think someone won't have over, let me know which one you think it is.
Oh, shoot.
So I pretty much think Lamb is a given. He's going to.
Yeah, Lamb's a given. I think Cooks is going to too. Honestly, I think
Michael Gallup's kind of the wild card. Both of us,
he's the wild card. It's like, are you getting 3 catches for 37 yards or?
Yeah, is he just effective in the red zone?
I got under for Gallup.
Okay.
I do think he'll make a couple key first down, the typical Michael Gallup fashion. He might get a little toe tap first down catch that shocks everybody. They're like, oh my God, 27-yarder barely got it on the sideline. Like one of them. And maybe another key first down or two. But I think he'll be under 50.
Now, we didn't talk about this before, Lambo, but how do you think Jalen Tolbert comes into play in terms of our receiver group? Do you think he gets some meaningful snaps? Or do we stick with our usual history of if the top 3 guys are healthy, they're pretty much playing the whole game?
That's a really good question. The way Tolbert has completely flipped the script this offseason, man, I think they're going to give the kids some chances here and there. I'm not saying they're going to give him a ton of snaps, but I think he's going to get involved. I do. I think he'll get a few targets. I wouldn't be surprised if he catches, possibly 3 balls this game.
So, kind of expanding on that, we don't know what this offense is, and we have this 4'2", 5'9" receiver in Turpin, who we have no clue how they're going to use him or if they're going to use him in offense. How do you think he comes into play into this game? Like, do you think he's just going to be a gadget guy, or do you think they let him run some real routes?
I honestly think it's going to be a little bit of the same. I think he's going to come in where we're thinking we're going to get a little something different. And then we're so loaded at the top end of the receiver tree right now that he's going to, by default, result to the gadget guy. But I do think he could come in and they take a shot with him at some point in the game.
So you think it's just deep shot, reverse, jet sweep?
I do.
No, 3rd and 3.
Bring him in on a drag route or something.
Right. I can see that too.
Yeah.
I think we're all kind of in agreement. Some people are saying over for all 3, but if it is under, they all kind of think Gallup is the odd man out. And Charlie saying thinks Tolbert gets about 10 snaps. Turpin probably gets 5 to 7. I'm in agreement with that also. I think between all the tight ends, the running backs who are going to be effective in the passing game, and then the big 3 receivers, it's going to be a lot of mouths to feed, and those guys are probably going to be on the short end. All right, let's go to our next over-under. Sticking with the Cowboys offense, we also talked about this before. We got our 2 young backups who are essentially playing their first games, and then you got Tony Pollard as the beginning of the year starting running back. So over under 120 total yards rushing for all 3 of our running backs. So guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Over under 120 yards rushing only for all 3 of our running backs. When you look at the Giants front 7, I mean, we talked about this earlier. They're loaded in terms of the three defensive tackles they have in their 3-4. Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence, and then the other big defensive tackle. So it's going to be kind of clogged up in there. We got 3 explosive backs, though. I'm trying to talk you guys out of it, but I already see that based off the comments, it's overwhelmingly going over for 120 total.
Sorry about that, guys. I had to plug my charger in real quick.
Oh, you're good.
Over, under, 120 yards total. Over.
Yeah, everybody in the comments is kind of saying over.
All day.
And I think it's more just because of the pure explosiveness of the backs we have that you think these guys can come in and hit some explosive plays. In Charlie fashion, pass will set up the run, establish the pass. And Dom saying Dallas will run a great deal late, which makes me assume that Dom thinks this game is going to get put away pretty early. I think we'll find out about that once we get the game predictions in the next 5 to 10 minutes or so. So Lambo, I know you said over also. I think it's kind of because of the explosiveness of all three guys. What do you kind of consider as the reason you're saying over 120?
The same thing. It's explosiveness. As we seen last year with TP, he's just the guy can take it at any moment, and he's just very explosive. All it takes is that one crease, and you're getting a chunk gain of 40, 50.
Mm-hmm.
We seen in preseason, the Deuce is going to get loose as well.
Right.
I knew he was shifty, but I was curious how he was going to stack up against NFL level play.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, the guy is shifty. I wouldn't be surprised if he breaks off a nice little chunk play. And I think Rico he's gonna do well as well. And the pass game, kind of like Charlie's saying, honestly, I do think our pass game is gonna do such a great job that it is gonna make it a lot easier for these guys to not face any type of they're not gonna have to worry about any deep stack boxes or anything like that. And you give these kind of guys a lot of room to run, and you're just there's gonna be some big plays.
Now, a question that we didn't really talk about, and guys, let me know in the comments also. We've been talking a lot on the show about what we consider to be the top 3 running backs in Pollard, Vaughn, and Dowdle. Will Hunter have anything to say about this game, or do you guys think he'll be a first week inactive? I think it's going to be hard to have four running backs active in this game, considering we're already going in so injured on the defensive side.
I was going to say that as well. I think that he's going to be inactive.
Yeah, I would love to see him this game, but we're going to be pretty much all hands on deck when you talk about Sam Williams being out, and then also possibly Donovan Wilson, which causes a major shift around your safety linebacker group. The Doom Bots. Lambo Mendoza's hitting us with the early nicknames.
Yeah.
You may want to coin a couple of these, Mendoza, before somebody takes them.
Yeah, they'll spread and they'll end up on
they end up in new media.
Yeah. That.
So so I'm looking forward to seeing what these running backs have to offer in a meaningful game. We don't know what Dowdle is. Everybody's kind of downing Vaughn, but we'll find out this week because they got some big defensive tackles in New York, and he's gonna take a couple of hits. Charlie says, I think he'll be active, only going 3 tight ends. You can carry 4 running backs with 3 tight ends. He'll be good on special teams too. I mean, that's a good point also, because we're going short on tight ends. But it would have to be special teams purposes though, Charlie, if he does play. All right, so I got one more over under for the Cowboys, and then we'll go over to the Giants really quick. So the next over under is for our pass rushers. So talked about this earlier in the show. D-Law normally has his best games against the Giants. But we also got that young line on the opposite side in Micah Parsons, who looks like is going to transition 100% into that defensive end position. So whoever their left tackle is in New York is going to get full-time Micah Parsons this year and not part-time Micah Parsons. So
give me over.
Over under 2.5 sacks between D-Law and Micah Parsons.
I was about to say that. Damn it, Charlie beat me to it. I was gonna say he might get it by himself. Hey, what he said on X or wherever I seen it posted at, it wasn't necessarily on there. He said it in an interview. he said he wants all the smoke. Is what he said. And Mike is gonna get to himself. And D-Law, we talked about the kind of game he has against New York. D-Law is gonna get him one. I got it over.
I love the eggs icon, Riker. Eggs over easy. I love that. Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. I just think Micah full-time defensive end. We've got some improvements on the interior, so that kind of helps give Micah more one-on-one opportunities instead of shifting protection to that side. Darren Waller's not much of a blocker. If you go back and look at him during his time in Oakland, I believe he spent about a third of his time in the slot. So you're not going to have that inline tight end who can chip off the line of scrimmage. They may send the running back over there a little bit. But for the most part, that left tackle is going to be on the island with Micah Parsons. And it's going to be up to him to make it happen.
The coaching staff can't even stop Micah from hitting Dak in practice.
Exactly.
Jones don't stand a chance.
And we all know Daniel Jones has not been the best decision maker when it comes to standing in the pocket. Yeah, and Charlie says he hasn't played since the Niners loss, so he's definitely coming out strong. New York Giant Stadium, Lawrence Taylor comparisons, it's all going to line up for a huge game for Micah Parsons. So I probably should have taken this to 3.5, but I didn't want to seem too anxious.
Yeah,
but I think we all kind of agree 2.5 will probably be pretty easy. And Charlie saying they're pretty much starting the same group except the center. We got after them last year, obviously, and then Parsons also specifically, which again, Charlie, he wasn't even playing full-time defensive end at that point.
And he feels extra hungry.
Yep.
Extra hungry.
All right, so let's go into a couple of these over-unders for the Giants, and then we'll go to our last segment of the show. We're at 48 minutes. We'll still get you guys out of here within an hour. So first one for the New York Giants. We talked about the Cowboys receivers a little bit. Let's talk about the Giants receivers. So they've got a lot of older faces who've been dealing with injuries for a while. You got Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton. You got Wan'Dale Robinson, early round pick from last year, coming back from injury. And then you also got the speedy Jalen Hyatt on the outside. But on our side, we've got All-Pro Trayvon Diggs. We've got former Defensive Player of the Year and Stephon Gilmore. Mm-hmm. And then you got the young slot corner Deron Bland, along with the newly acquired, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name, from the Dolphins. Give me you got
Noah Igbenogany.
Igbenogany. All right.
Because I liked him coming out of the draft, which I probably shouldn't say that right now, but I did like him.
Yeah. Lambo in early season form with the name pronunciations. Good job.
Igbenogany.
All right. So 60 yards for any Giants receiver. On the Cowboys side, I said 50 yards for all three. On the Giants side, I'm asking, will any receiver get over 60 yards? And if so, which one are you looking at?
One of them's going to. One of them will.
Yeah, Charlie, I think I'm going with Iggy for the year too.
One of them's going to need to. So, I just can't figure out who it's going to be. If Sterling Shepard goes back to pre-injury form, I could see it being him.
So looking at the early reports from the Giants, it sounds like Isaiah Hudgens is going to be your X, and Darius Slayton is going to be your Z, and then it could be Paris Campbell on the inside, the guy that they got from the Colts. I think they're kind of slow playing Sterling Shepard. It's probably going to be committee. Yeah, it's probably going to be Shepard, but right now they kind of have Paris Campbell in that spot, and then Jalen Hyatt's going to probably, when one of them inevitably gets injured, he's going to be the guy to step in for him.
Obviously, I would say Darren Waller, but we're talking receivers, so.
Yeah, we're talking receivers right now. Charlie says probably because they'll be playing from behind.
Throw a dart.
So this one is just a pick 'em, whichever one gets lucky in prevent defense, basically.
Yeah. Yep, pretty much. It's gonna be one of them, but
Mendoza saying I trust Bland on Campbell or Shepard, because you know that's gonna be the one that gets tested. They're not testing Diggs, and just off reputation, Gilmore probably won't get tested. So just process of elimination, if that's what you have to choose from, I'm going to throw it at the young second-year guy in the slot.
Mm-hmm.
So you pretty much have to assume whoever he's guarding is going to be the guy who has the best chance of getting over 60 yards receiving. All right, so let's continue on with our over-unders. And we talked about this just a few seconds ago. Lambo just brought up about Waller. We talked about Waller likes to play a lot in the slot, and we're probably going to match him up with Jaron Kearse. He's more than likely going to end up being the leading target getter for the Giants. So over under 65 yards receiving for Darren Waller.
Oh man, I feel like he's gonna get a lot of targets, but I also feel very confident in Kearse's ability to slow him down. It's gonna have to be him though. I'm gonna say over.
Okay.
Not by a ton, but I think he's gonna get in the 70s.
You know what? Initially, I had this at 85, but I feel like that was too high. But now that I think about it, I may have wanted to go 85. But at 65, I think he'll go over also. All right, guys, we're at 53 minutes. Thank you, everyone who's continued to stick with us. We're almost down to our last segment of the show. And for you guys who are still with us, we do have special guests because it's rivalry week. Cowboy Dale will be giving us his game prediction this week. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you share this because I know the fan base loves super fan Cowboy Dale, and they'll definitely want to see what he has to say about this Giants and Cowboys matchup. Riker with the cop-out of the push. You got to pick a side for us, Riker. Over or under. And then Mendoza kind of just saying, just because of the amount of targets, he's probably going to go over. All right, last one. And then we'll go to our last segment of the show. 85 yards rushing for Saquon Barkley. Now, the past 3 games we played, Saquon has broken out for an explosive run against us.
Sorry.
We're going to find out.
I knew Charlie was going to get bothered. He's going to get bothered by Dale.
We'll find out in a minute, Charlie. So, yeah, Saquon Barkley, he normally has one explosive play against us. We are kind of thin at linebacker. We don't really know what we have inside in terms of defensive tackles and stopping the run. So this is going to be a great test for our defensive front because if Barkley breaks through the first level, he will run loose, but he also has a tendency to get kind of jammed up in the backfield and take a lot of yards for loss in terms of running. So 85 yards now, but over under.
I'm gonna say over, but here is the thing. Saying over. It's late. I'm tired. Oh man.
I can't wait till these guys start their podcast.
The over though isn't. I'm not expecting like 120 plus, nothing like that. I can see him getting in the 90s somewhere in there, but I really do think, like you said, it always tends to come off of like some kind of big play with him. You'll have him sheltered down to 2.7 yards per carry on 12, 13 carries, and then there goes 60-yard Barkley.
Yep.
That's what happens. So that'll happen at some point. It seems like it always happens. You bottle them up all game, and then you give them that one crease, and but it ain't gonna kill us, and it's all right. But that's what's gonna cause it. I think they'll bottle them up for the most part. They'll have that one big play that he usually pulls off at some point.
Yeah, just like you said, it'll look like a below average game, and then before you know it, it's 40 yards on the edge or 60 yards down the middle, and he ends up getting close to 100. And everybody says the Cowboys' run defense is terrible.
And they're like, "Oh, he ran all over you," and I'm like,
right,
2.7 yards per carry or something before that happened. Okay, 3 yards.
That's always one of my pet peeves with all media when they try to push that narrative. Man, they won't show the 5 stops that they got. They'll just keep showing that same one run over and over again.
It's hard being a Cowboys fan sometimes, man, because we get it from all over.
All right, guys. I see the views are still kind of holding steady, so we're one segment away from game predictions and Cowboy Dale giving us his thoughts. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe. So let's go to our next segment, which are the keys to victory for this week's game.
Keys to victory.
So, me personally, I just picked out these 3 keys for us to win this game. The first one is stop the run. Lambo and I just talked about this. Barkley's going to break off a long run. Let's try to minimize those because those explosive plays can be game changers. Not only Barkley, we also got to stop Daniel Jones because he does have the ability to get 40, 50 yards rushing in a game. And we all know when a quarterback gets rushing yards and gets first downs, that can definitely be a difference maker in a game. So we've got to stop the quarterback and the running back. Secondly, looks like they're going to have the full complement of pass rushers. So we got to limit that pass rush on the outside as well as the inside. Leonard Williams is a very good interior pass rusher. And Dexter Lawrence, the big D tackle out of Clemson, he slowly built his confidence last year and started showing some pass rush moves on the inside as well. So we definitely got to make sure we limit their pass rush. And then last but not least, going back to the running back position, we talked about this before. Got to complete those short yardage downs, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. And also when we get inside the red zone, we got to punch the ball inside and for 6 instead of settling for field goals, because going back to that point in particular, we didn't even talk about the kicker position. But I don't want us to have to see what we have in the kicker for this week.
Me either.
Let's 4th and 1, 4th and 2. Let's convert those. If we get inside the red zone, let's punch those in. Let's not find out what our kicker has to offer or doesn't have to offer in this week's game.
I completely agree because I'm going to be worried enough about extra point attempts. And the only thing I'd also really add to everything is just limit the big play, because I feel like for the most part, the same way I said with Barkley, their whole offense in general, I feel like our defense is just much better than them. And I feel like for most of the game, we're going to keep them in check. But you just got to limit the big play. They got guys that can do it. Not only can Barkley do it, but I still say to keep your eye on Jalen Hyatt. The dude, I guarantee they're working something up at some point in the game to bring him out there and try to sneak one big one on you. So they're gonna target him deep at one point in the game. Watch, you're gonna see a deep pass to him.
That's a good point. You think we're gonna see some trick plays on the Giants side of the field?
They got something dialed up for Hyatt deep. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Going back to the beginning of the show, we talked about this. This is Brian Daboll's second year in the offense. So whatever we saw from the Jason Garrett or whatever the coach's name was before him, that's going to be completely eliminated out of their scheme now. This is 100% Daboll's offense. So we're going to see the full complement of plays that he has in store for us. And there's no bigger stage than week 1 Sunday night against the Dallas Cowboys.
Yep.
All right, Mendoza saying, talking about Riker's points. 3 of those are always main things with the team in general. Make good decisions, be efficient, protect the ball. Yeah, we could pretty much say all 3 of those every single week for keys to victory for this team. All right, so I hate to jinx it. We're just over an hour, and there's been no Dak talk. So thank you guys for all your great comments, keeping it informative, not letting the Dak troll train start in the comments. Always good to come back and deal with some of the great podcasters and people who follow Cowboys football who join our show. You guys are the best group of viewers on the internet, and we're very appreciative to have you joining us every Wednesday night. All right, Lambo, last segment of the show. Let's get into our game predictions, and let's kick it off with Cowboy Dale giving us his week 1 game prediction. You ready for the video?
I'm ready.
All right.
For the video.
All right, guys, I give you a few seconds. If you haven't done so already, make sure you share this. Let people know. Superfan Cowboy Dale is going to give us his game prediction for this week's game against the New York Giants.
Hey man, it's Cowboy Dale, man. Look, I'm back, man. Hey, Cowboys on, Cowboys y'all, Bluff City Cowboys, man. Give you my prediction, man. Look, Cowboys is gonna win this thing 34-17, man. And it's gonna be highly due to, boom, 7-Eleven, baby. 7-Eleven. Look, Daniel Jones gonna see so much daggone 7-Eleven, man. I tell you what, he ain't never gonna want a Slurpee again. Ow! That's how 7-Eleven do. I mean, do you think it was gonna be anything otherwise? Dak owns the Giants, man. That's all he does is beat their ass, man. Come on. Hey, look, Dak's gonna have 3 total touchdowns. So he's gonna have a part in this too. And he's gonna have 350 plus passing yards, man. Let's go. Parsons, 2 sacks. Gilmore, 1 interception. Hey, Danny Dimes is going to fumble 1 too. Let's go, man. Barkley, 67 yards and under, man. Hey, we back, Cowboys Nation. We about to be 1-0, man. And you know it's true because Cowboy Dale said so, man. That's how Cowboy Dale does it. Ow! And he Dimes going to be madder than a 3-legged dog trying to bury a turd in an icy pond, man. Shoot.
All right, and that's Cowboy Dale with his game prediction for this week's game against the New York Giants. When I saw Charlie's coming, I almost spit the water I was drinking.
I almost knocked my knocked my tee off with my knee.
So Cowboy Dale said, what, 34-17?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I swear that dude's my doppelganger. Ain't that what you call it?
Yeah.
Doppel.
You know, our first season, we did have both you guys on camera at the same time. We probably have to do it again just so people know that you're.
Yeah, everybody didn't believe us, so we literally put both on at the same time, and everybody's like, how'd that happen? Like, I told you, that's not me.
Yeah, so we definitely got to do that again this season to let people know.
What's up, James?
Ask Cowboy Dale some questions. All right, so I see if you haven't done so already, make sure you put your score in the comments. We'll keep track of them. And if someone hits the nail on the head, we will try to get you a prize at some point during the season. So Cowboy Dale has it 34-17. Personally, I'm not that far off of that. I have it at 30-20. I think just because it's our first game, they may get up early on us, but I think after midway through the second half, we start to really crank it up. and pull away and no longer make it a game. So definitely looking forward to this game. I got it 30-20 Dallas Cowboys. What you got, Lambo?
You know what? It's crazy, but I'm at 34-17.
Okay. Big surprise, Lambo's.
Yeah.
On with Cowboy Dale score.
Yeah, 34-17. That's where I'm at. Ooh, 34-9.
Riker coming with a big blowout.
Coming with the heat.
So it looks like we're all kind of on the same page. Think the Cowboys will get 30 plus. The Giants will score around low 20s or below.
It's getting better.
James Crittenden, thank you for joining us, coming in with the big blowout 41-17. Starting the season off with a 40 burger. That would be great for Sunday Night Football.
Yes, it would.
All right. It looks like more people are starting to come on now as we're about to end the show. So, Jack Meeker, thank you for joining. James, thank you for joining us as well.
But the Night Owls.
Yeah, we're about to get out of here in a minute. So if you haven't, make sure you share this. Make sure you go back and watch it. And be sure to find us same time, same place next week as we do a game recap of this game, as well as look ahead to week 2 against the other New York team, the New York Jets. So before we get out of here, Lambo, let the people know where they can find you
at Cowboys Y'all on Facebook, at Cowboys Y'all on YouTube, which I've been absent for a while, had a bit of a break, but ready to get back in the swing of things, get popping again. I know, definitely follow us both on YouTube. Most of all, I know we're trying to get those numbers up. It's hard to do. Instagram, Cowboys Y'all 88. See a lot of my son's AAU stuff here starting up soon, probably. But on X, gonna give it to you at Cowboys Y'all.
All right, guys, you can find me on Facebook and YouTube at Bluff City Cowboys. You can find me on the X at Bluff Cowboys. You can also find me on Instagram at Bluff City Cowboys. Make sure you follow all the great podcasters that are joining us today. I know we got Charlie and Rika, who joined us for a minute. We've got Dom, who's over at Pick Six Sports every Friday night and always active in the X sphere with their I don't even know what you call them now. But if you want to go find those guys on X, you can go find them there. So you can also find us
to the west
on X as well. So once again, thank you guys for joining us. Appreciate you guys coming back after a long hiatus.
Just like our preseason.
Yeah. We're just getting started.
Training camp.
Big season, yeah. So we're probably going to try to do a pregame show this Sunday. Also, it'll be very short, just to hit you guys and get the injury report, find out whether Tyler Smith is playing this week, and also do a couple bold predictions, things of that nature. Looking forward to a great game this Sunday night. And once again, we'll see you guys next Wednesday at 8:30 Central Standard Time right here on the Cowboy Zone. All right, Lambo, any closing thoughts on you before we go?
Hey, man, you hit it all, and just glad to be back. Missed all you guys. Missed talking with Bluff, and it's really great to be back, man. It's refreshing, and I know y'all are all excited as I am about this season. This feels like a special one. I know they say that we say that every year as Cowboys fans, but this year does feel special, and I'm excited to see where it goes. So it's like Christmas morning coming.
Yeah. So Jack Meeker, make sure you join us early next week because we always love your questions and comments. So be sure to find us again next Wednesday, 8:30 Central Standard Time, Facebook, YouTube, as well as the X for the Cowboy Zone. I'm Marcus. This is Lambo, and we are out. You guys have a good night.
See y'all.
Thank you for watching the Cowboy Zone.